rich foods, because when you're saying about how things that have to be refrigerated, you know, like your raw kimchi or yogurt or kefir, or however you say it, do those, it sounds like that would just die as well by the time it gets to your, you know, your actual large colon. So is it still beneficial to have those? It seems like it is, obviously. So maybe they assist in digestion or something, but I would love your thoughts on incorporating those foods, especially if you're pregnant and stuff like that for your kids.
Yeah, so fermented foods are really important and nutritious and beneficial, but they're not a source of probiotics because, like you said, the bacteria that was fermenting and causing the fermentation in the food, when you eat the food, that bacteria will die in your stomach as well. So you're not delivering a bunch of good bacteria to your system. However, the fermentation has a lot of organic acids and short-chain fatty acids and B vitamins and all of these amazing nutrients that are a result of the fermentation process. And all of those things are really beneficial to your gut. So think of, if your gut is a garden, the fermented food is like fertilizer for the garden.
Okay.
And probiotics, like spore-based probiotics, is like a gardener. So you've got your fertilizer that'll help grow the good plants and improve the soil and so on. And then you send in your gardener, which is a spore-based probiotics, to specifically remove the bad bacteria, improve the growth of the good, and so on, and condition the whole environment. So you need, both are really important, and having fermented foods can be really beneficial. Doing your own fermented foods is really the best way, because a lot of the commercially available things like kefirs and kombuchas and all that tend to have really high sugar and other components in it. You know, there's a big kombucha class action lawsuit going on right now. I think it started in Florida, actually, because most of the products they tested had much higher sugar levels than what was claimed on the label, and much higher alcohol levels and so on. So doing your own at home is a good, effective way to do it. In fact, you can ferment with the spores. So I do most of my fermentation at home with one capsule of the spores. Just mix it into any sort of fruit or vegetable in a mason jar, and then, you know, put a tablespoon of sugar, because the spores will like the sugar and they'll start consuming the sugar and increasing the fermentation. And then you can ferment for 2-3 days, fruits or vegetables with that, and you'll have a beautiful ferment to eat.
Is that per quart or pint of, when you say mason jar?
So a mason jar would be
usually
about a quart.
Yeah, usually it's a quart. Okay.
Yeah, it's a quart size. So 1 quart, so you'd have 1/3 of it filled with either fruits or vegetables, whatever you want to ferment. The other 2/3 with water. Add 1 tablespoon of sugar and about 1 capsule of the spores. Mix it up and then close it and let it sit on your counter for 3 days usually, and you'll have a beautifully fermented vegetable or fruit drink.
Have you ever made yogurt with your spores?
I have not, but I know people that have, and it does kind of give you a little bit of that characteristic yogurt taste.
Yeah.
But it produces a really rich product.
That's awesome. I'll just Google it. I'm sure something online.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about, let's just dial back. If someone does have to, a mom that has to have a cesarean because of medical reasons, you know, they do save lives. Sometimes they definitely are needed. What are things that moms can do to build up their baby? So, of course, you mentioned breastfeeding.